Pat's Taps at Catfish Johnny's. Pat's Taps is Lake Pennsauken's newest tap room, offering 14 rotating craft beers on tap. We also offer bottled domestic beers, seltzers, ciders, and wine, as well as a variety of appetizers and puff. Our family-friendly tap room is a great place to come hang out and enjoy some one-of-a-kind craft beer. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or the Untapped app. So, I like what I'd like to do is go with every guest is like, I like to go back and kind of get an idea. And I know you've got a lot of stuff to talk about, so we're going to go ahead and just dive right on in.
Yeah.
So I know we all know that you're from Lacoochee.
Right.
If you're not from Florida, you might want to call it other words, but or if you want to, I've heard it called Lac O'Shea.
Right. It depends on who you're talking to.
That is true.
And it's the name alone strikes a good conversation in the room because the name is kind of catchy.
Yeah, they're always like, "Where are you from?" Like,
I'm from Coochie. That's what I'm from Coochie, and that makes the whole room get quiet, and it even draws a laugh from here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a story about while we're talking about Lacoochee, because I don't want to forget about it, but just in case, one of my favorite stories. I have a baseball signed by Mudcat, Jim Mudcat Grant.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And he's family.
Yes, sir.
He's family. So I have a piece of history.
Right.
Because I'm a big Pirates fan, if you can't tell.
Right.
So I've got a bunch of balls and stuff. And he played for the Pirates for just a brief, for a hot minute, you'd say, but also a World Series champ with the Twins back in the day. The story goes that back in the day, he was on. I don't remember where exactly they were playing. They must have been close to Washington because he got a phone call in the hotel, and it was the White House.
Yes.
And he didn't believe him.
Right.
He thought it was one of the guys just joking, So he hung up on him. So they called back like, no, seriously, this is the White House. He's like, yeah. He hangs up again. So after like the third time, they're like, no, listen, Jim, we want you to, the president wants to have breakfast with you. Right. And he's like, okay, well, whatever. He decides to oblige, and he meets John F. Kennedy.
Yes, sir.
and for breakfast. And the same thing about Lacoochee. He's like, so you're from, and I imagine John F. Kennedy being this, he's got to, if he doesn't understand what you're talking about, he's got to know what you're talking about, right, or make you think he knows what you're talking about. So he's like, "You're from Lac O'Shea, whatever it was," and he's like, "No, sir, it's actually Lacoochee." And he's like, "Oh, okay." So I think Mr. President learned something that day too about Lacoochee, but he said, asked him about where it was. He says it's a very small town, and he asked him, he said, what would you, if we could do something for the town, what would it be? He said, well, we need a school.
Right.
And so they built Lacoochee Elementary. Yes. And that was built by the government. It was a pretty cool deal how if that had not happened, how long would they have gone without a school? Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Like, and it made such a big impact on that community. Not only that, him, and believe it or not, Jim was John F. Kennedy's favorite player.
Wow.
So,
that was a time.
Yeah.
That was a time. And, to come from a small town like that, to get a chance to get on a platform like that, and try to represent the town, give something everlasting.
Right.
And to this day now, the Boys and Girls Club there is named Jim Mudcat Grant.
Okay.
And memories of his hard work and dedication. Yeah. So when you leave a town like this, it's called representing your hometown. You try to reach back,
right,
and leave something everlasting,
right.
And Uncle Mudcat was that guy. He's very sharp. As I got to know him a little more, as I got older, you had to have something different than you, and he required that.
It's funny how when you get older, you start to understand. You don't realize you grow up with relatives, right, but you don't realize how much they mean to you.
That's right.
And then once life starts to take them away from you slowly, you realize, man, they were
the real deal.
Like if I was related to a Major League Baseball player, I mean, I'd be like,
Yeah.
I mean, even as a kid, I don't think I would appreciate it as much, is what I'm saying. But as you get older, you're like, man, that is so cool.
Well, you think back over time, you think about the numbers that's in the locker room, you think about you're playing against the best players in the world,
Right.
per se. And to be in that number,
Right.
you know, to come from nowhere, to get an opportunity.
Right.
And man, you don't realize the work you've done until time has gone by. And like, I went to the 4th annual Cowboys reunion. And man, the respect the guys got for me alone is overwhelming. You know, I'm thinking they'll forget about little Troy Hambrick from Lacoochee, Florida. And it's like, man, how can we forget you, T-Ham? Man, T-Ham, man. And they go to telling me memories and stories, working out, plane rides, you know, gambling matches, whatever. you know, some of the craziest stuff I might have said over the years. And man, it's engraved in history.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, Uncle Mudcat came through. My dad came through. 2 brothers once again coming out of Lacoochee.
Right.
You know, making some things happen athletically, you know, and globally.
Right. Globally impacting people.
Yes.
And I didn't know what your dad played.
Yeah.
What did he play?
My dad was a pitcher also.
Okay.
He played minor league, never really caught on.
Okay.
I think as time goes on, the story says he ended up ending his career over in New Mexico.
Okay.
You know, he went over there and played there at a minor league also.
Right.
And as time have it, he's one of the top aces there in Mexico. And I think they enshrined his name also over in Mexico somewhere.
That's cool.
You know?
That's so cool.
And at the ending of my dad's life, as time went on, the boys, his sons got in a better position. You know, everybody chipped in and ended up making a special trip for him to Mexico. I wasn't able to make it. We was going over to Japan. But from what I hear from my brothers, that was a historical moment. You know, outpouring, man. And my dad was a fluent Spanish speaker.
Okay.
You know, so he ended up getting married to a Mexican lady.
Gotcha.
And you know, he brought a family back here. And,
that's cool.
You know, that's before my time. But to hear some of these amazing stories about the work my dad put in, you know, you got to navigate through this thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not easy on the road. And everybody thinks it's easy on the road.
Yeah.
You know, and once you get slapped in the face, then you realize, man, that's when you start to respect the work and the guys before you.
Right.
You know, less resources.
Right.
You know, less support. You know, you don't got nothing but you and God.
Right.
You know, and, you know, to put it together, man, you know, thinking about me and my brother, the stuff we had to put together, you know, it wasn't always right, but failure wasn't an option. You know, we had to get in there. You know, and that's what that Pasco Power brand brings to you. Right. You know, against all odds. You go in the building against all odds already. Yeah. And we was able to step forward, man.
So, talking about your brother, you and your brother went to Pasco. Right. Very successful. I did not get a chance to see you play because you were just a tad bit earlier than I was.
Really? I can't believe that.
Yeah, I know, right? I told Boo Hart the same thing, Clinton Hart. I said, I remember hearing about you in middle school. Right. And it was like, almost like you would hear about, like, we treated the Friday night games on Monday like it was like Sunday games on Monday. Right. We're like, well, so what happened? Because my parents, I was telling Coach Sherman this, I didn't even know we had a team in Bushnell. Wow. Because we lived in Webster. Right. Well, between Webster and Center Hill. And we didn't venture out that way. We didn't go to Bushnell a lot. And, you know, if we were going out, we were going to Leesburg. Right. So I knew Leesburg. But my own county, we didn't even go. But I think it's great to have, I mean, it's hard enough when people do good things by themselves, but when you have a sibling that you can go and do this with, makes a difference. Right. Tell me a little bit about Pasco.
Yeah, Pasco, man. Pasco is the place to be. Yeah. You know, that red and black. You know, the early 90s, well, the late 80s, when my cousin James Hambrick and Mike Hambrick and those guys, Doc Rock, came along. You know, they built the brand. Mm-hmm. They built the brand of saying, you know, we're going to start something new here. And as time went on, they brought in Perry Brown and, you know, him, Gaffney, Maples, I can name them all. You know, they set us up for success. And all we had to do was put forth the effort. Right. You know, and to come out of Pasco, you had to work a little harder.
Right.
You know, they wasn't giving offers away.
Right.
You know, and as time went on, Pasco warmed up where we got Steve Spurrier on the sideline. We got Bobby Bowden there, you know, right here in Dade City. And that was, you know, that was game changing. And when you look to the sideline and you see one of those guys at the top SEC level, you know something is baking.
Right.
And to have a leadership as in my brother, Jamie Bird, DeAndre Reed, Michael Penix Sr., those guys leading the way, you know, it just made us want it a little more. And I came up 2 years behind them, and I had opportunity to start as a sophomore on the state championship team. And not too many guys before that. You know, my brother was more for the senior guys, you know, that senior leadership. You know, you can wait your turn type of deal. And I just, you know, me waiting wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Me waiting wasn't a thing. And I fought, got a little tougher, got more little resilience in me. And man, Pascal warmed up. And we warmed up fast.
So by throwing you in the fire quick, you got better. You got your feet wet per se, but you also realize what this was all about.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest part.
I chose to come from middle school. I came from middle school, and when I went up to the high school level, I chose to go to JV. I needed some more development time. Even though the coaches saw size in me, I felt I personally need development time. So I did that whole year on JV, and at the end of the year, they ended up moving me up.
Right.
At the end of the year, Pascal was on a run going to play Santa Fe. You know? And one of the guys at the end, you know, they got hurt. I think Jamie hurt his ankle. One of the guys, and coach put me out there. And it was on the kickoff team as a freshman. We were down in Santa Fe, Alachua, Santa Fe. And man, they kicked the ball and it came to me. And I dropped the damn ball, bro. Fumbled. They got the ball back.
Oh.
They got the ball back and went up 2 scores on us. And we couldn't catch them. That put us behind. And that rolled me.
Yeah.
That haunted me.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that.
Right.
That haunted me going into my sophomore year. And when I got there, started working. Right. You had Jamie Bird, you had some of these other running backs. Michael Penix Sr. was a senior then. And he went on to Middle Tennessee State. But to say that fueled me to want to get in the numbers, and I rode that, man, all the way to a state championship. That burning, that fire, the embarrassment of dropping that ball.
Yeah.
You know, that was a pivotal moment in that game. Where, you know, and that haunted me, man. And, you know, going into that senior year, my brother had his people, all his seniors, there had to be about 15 of them.
Right.
And he got them all, you know, Kayvon Medanis and Chuck Langanese. And Isaac Johnson was the quarterback then. And I just, you know, I wouldn't accept it.
Yeah.
And man, I worked my behind off and ended up being the starter at running back. And as time went on, maybe 4th game in the season, Coach Perry Brown put me at linebacker. And me and my brother at linebacker, me and my brother at running back, man, that changed a lot of stuff.
Wow.
And it got me tighter. It got me harder.
Right.
It got me going. And I was able to see the field a lot better playing the position at linebacker. You know, what's going on with the defense and all. And I used it to my good. Man. They put me together. But that fumble in Savannah. Yeah. I mean, not Savannah. That's
Santa Fe.
Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Built a different dog in me.
I think it's good to have something like that happen, even though at the time you wish, oh my God, that's the worst thing that could have happened to me. But I don't think you would have been as successful if you hadn't have. I don't want to call that a personal folly, like you know what I mean. Like it's something that it was a goof. I mean, you were. There's a lot of pressure. You're young. That's like. I have to stop myself sometimes when I'm watching college football, especially college football, and somebody drops a ball or somebody misses a block, tackle. I'm like, and you get so upset. Yeah. Now, when I was 20 years old, I didn't think anything of it. Right. Now I'm in my 40s. Yeah. I'm like, those are kids out there. Yeah. Those are kids.
Yeah, you try to empathize with them.
Yeah.
You know, but fundamentals, your mindset, the drive you have in you.
Yeah.
You know, the name that you're carrying on your back.
Yeah.
You know, that stuff carries. And,
Right.
you know, if playing a game of sports, the ups and downs are there. You know, the missed layups are there. The missed dunks are there.
Yep.
You know, and it's how can we get to the next play?
Right.
When do we get to the next play? And that's been my life, working on getting to the next play.
Right.
I understand where I'm at, but I'm a game dog. You know, I'm a player.
Right.
You know, and I'm an overcomer. So,
Right.
you know, it's always about that next play. I never let one play hum me up. It stayed in your stomach now.
Right.
But that one play,
Yeah.
it can fuel you. It's how you pick up. You find out a lot about a person
Right.
when they're going through the storm.
Oh, yeah.
You find a lot.
Oh, yeah.
You find out a lot. Yeah, all that sweet shit. Excuse my French.
No, you're good.
All that's you know. I want to know. I want to know when they get tough on you.
Absolutely.
Called pressure bust
Right.
pipes.
That's right.
Pressure bust pipes.
Well, you know, like I said, you know, having that happen to you made you want it more. Okay, so if you got there and you played in that Santa Fe game and you had everything just worked out perfectly for you, you would not have worked as hard as what you did because you were basically embarrassed.
Yes,
you were embarrassed, and that happens to everybody.
Yeah,
the biggest thing is people don't understand that everybody goes through the same stuff. They go, you could never understand how I feel. You're like, really?
Yeah.
Try me. And
then, you know, and it's such things, you know, you don't know I'm feeling. You know, everybody's trying something.
Right.
And the embarrassment side of it is when you get caught.
Right.
You know, that's where it's at. But everybody's trying something. If you're not trying, then what are you doing?
Yep.
You know, success is not handed to you. You know, I went in to move forward. I went to a running back room that was loaded.
Yeah.
I was the 10th, 12th man on the roster.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't go in there with a plan of saying, hey, man, I'm already counting out the book. I go in there and I study film and I find out what everybody's weakness is.
Yep.
I find out what your strengths are.
Yep.
You know, I check myself. I check myself and I get in there.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
and
I get it.
And it's adversity.
Yeah.
You know, life is not a cakewalk.
No.
And, you know, and I think about the oops in my life, but I also think about the recovery.
Right.
And I also think about able to readjust and say, hey, man, I can make something out of nothing.
Right.
I can make something out of nothing. And coming from Lakuchi, you're already coming out of it with nothing but your name.
Yep.
It's up to you from there.
Right.
You know, and that's a message that I took from my brother. You know, it was always about the brand. It's the name.
Yeah.
And he went to Florida with the name. You know, he wasn't worried about being a Florida Gator. It's the Hambrick name.
Right.
That he was trying to solidify. And he started a hell of a walk, man.
Yeah.
Amazing guy, amazing athlete.
I coach Whoop Pee Wee or what do they call it? Pop Warner. We call it Whoop Pack because that's our group, the age groups for the organization. And I heard somebody say this, and I just stole it, and I would say it to our kids last year. You know, there's two identities on your jersey. There's the establishment, the team you play for,
yes, sir.
And the names on the back.
Yes, sir.
And you got to play for both.
You got to play for both.
And if win or lose, you got to make them both proud.
Yes, sir.
And that's the thing is, you got to remember to do that. People just don't care anymore. They don't. They go, you know, with the transfer portal. They're like, all right, well, I'm not getting. I mean, can you imagine the transfer portal when you went?
Good God Almighty. A lot of, you know, wow. It'll give me more opportunities.
Yeah.
You know, I was a guy who struggled educationally.
Right.
You know, trying to prepare myself, trying to beat the curve. You know, was unveiled once I couldn't pass the ACT test. You know, it's like you're pulling the veil back. You know, you got a great, but when you look behind the curtain, you know, something is slacking there.
Yeah.
And then you go and say, you know, how do I put it together? How do I put it together? How do I make it work? I sat out. I graduated in 1995. Back then, I sat out a whole year just to take the test. I could have went to JUCO. You know, they're sending them out to Kansas, Dodge, wherever on the other side of the world.
Right.
You know, but as a collective crew with me and my family, you know, why go out on the risk?
Right.
The injury wasn't, you know, players weren't covered like they are now. So I took the decision. I rode the ball. I gambled on my career at that moment. And I sat and I fought, went and took classes, tried to study. Didn't try to study, I studied. Until finally, man, the last time I could freaking take the test in 96, I finally got it. And ended up going to South Carolina with so much vengeance, so much embarrassment, that I'm a year behind.
Right.
But by golly, I'm going to catch up.
Yeah. I'm
going to catch up. And ran into a great teammate, Deuce Staley. And, man, those guys put me together, man. And, man, we rocked. We rocked, put the work in, preparation. Put the work in, preparation. If you prepared, man, it's all on you. You just got to be prepared conditionally, strength-wise.
Yeah.
And they teach you. You don't know a lot of this stuff until you get to college. So that was my thing, trying to be an overcomer.
Right.
Trying to beat the odds.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when you say, I know I used the word embarrassed earlier, and you said just embarrassment just a minute ago, but if it's easy to say that like that, but if you want to say something different, you could say you were just detoured.
Yeah.
Because you got delayed.
Yes.
But that might have been a good thing, because you may have been there and something would have happened. And I mean, people just think of negative things always as really bad. Like, I didn't make the team, I didn't get the job, and they don't think of that as a blessing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And that can be a hindrance to you.
Yep.
It's all about the mindset. It's what you tell yourself. Right. What do you motivate yourself to get up when you're knocked down? Right. I ride around and just say, thank you, Jesus. Right. Out of nowhere. Right. It comes out. Yep. Knowing what I've been through, the obstacles I've been through, what he's gotten me out of, what he made me go through and face. Right. It's been a trying time. And once you shake off the guilt and the embarrassment, once you shake that stuff off, man, you see a new creature, and you see a lot of resilience in the person, and then you're able to talk about your walk. Yep. You're able to tell somebody because you got the scars from it. Yeah. Not them, you have them, and I'm at that point now in my life where those scars are starting to heal. And I'm able to share because there's some more scars out there. And going through this JUCO, there's some scarred players there, academically, performance-wise, and they need film. And they need to see a guy like myself that's saying, man, if you go read the story, man, he's been through this. Yep. And that means a lot coming from players instead of a guy that's been upright, been a model guy. You run into a lot of guys these days, the kids are into everything now, because of social media and some other resources that we didn't have. Right. So try to deter them, try to get them, not deter them, but try to get them back on the positive spin, saying, hey, man, Troy, if you could do it, I can get through this too. And it all starts with faith. Absolutely. You ever notice when people ask for things, like when they pray, and they ask for things for certain things from God, and they say, I pray for guidance, or I pray for patience. Yeah. And then they're tested. Yeah. That makes them better at what they ask for, and they don't even understand. And they go, why is this bad stuff happening to me? And then they don't even understand that that's part of to get patience, you have to go through some things that make you more patient. I mean, you just don't get, patience like it's something over the counter. Yeah, it's all those, I call it microwave success. I call it people thinking it's just this stuff. It's just, you end up on TV on this big platform without preparation, but I went to coming my senior year instance dealing with Lou Holtz. Lou Holtz came in at South Carolina. Was I a shabby player? Did I have some character issues? I did, But in my mind, I've always battled. Yeah. My nickname is Wimp, and the Wimp is almost the 10th, 11th dog again, And I try, when people see me and they say, hey, Wimp, if you're not in my age frame, I say, you don't know that guy. Yeah. I want you to know Troy. Yeah, right. Right. That Wimp dog is a survival dog. You ain't seen me at my lowest point. That Wimp dog is a survival dog. Yeah, exactly. You hear me now? Troy, I'm in a different stage in my life. Right. And you talking about being battled and tested and praying, and God still seeing you through. God sent me to federal prison. I went to federal prison. Was the time hard? No, the time wasn't hard. But what I went through,
Right.
you know, what I told myself, what I bring out of there. And that's what he placed in front of me. Guys that stripped down, they can't hide behind nothing. And I ran into some great guys back there, man, that picked me back up at one of my lowest points, you know? And I had an old guy come out of Arkansas, was doing 10, 12 years. And he said, Hambrick, when you go home, I want you to go and see the doctors. I've been watching you 3 years here, not knowing that he's watching me. He said, I've been watching you the whole time you've been here, man. I think something's going on. He's not a physician. I'm not a physician. But I was coming home to nothing. Well, I come home to my family. I love them. But I'm talking about finances, name. Everything is in the garbage. Everything is in the garbage. And try to find a way to retool myself. Once again, adversity.
Right.
You know, the overcomer. You know, how do you get yourself back solidified in your community as an upright guy, you know? And to go through that 3 years at that federal institution molded me to be the person I am today. And once again, I thought I was going back to play football. But God, that wasn't in the plans. That wasn't in the plans. And he sent me through that fire. And all in all, he's preparing me for what's to come. Because it's tough times out there. And I was broken in so many areas that, man, I'm depressed and don't even know I've been depressed. I'm in a dark place trying to find light. And he put me in the tunnel. He put me in the tunnel, man. And it's built me today. And I'm able to tell my kids.
Yeah.
I'm able to tell the young guys, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
What's next? Life ain't over yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me what's next. You hear me? Tell me what's next.
Right.
That's the most important thing about playing football, playing basketball, playing with this thing called life. What's next?
Right.
You know? And that's what I've been on, the road to pros, prison, to blessed. Those chapters in my life, from pros to prison to blessed, those chapters wasn't easy.
Right.
You know, and to dig deep, it draw a tear here. It draws a smile here. It draws, when I think about some situation, it says, oh my God, Troy, you tried that. You tried that. But when you're in survival mode, nobody understands your pain.
Right.
Because it's all inside. I can't go tell you, man, I'm financially jammed up. I can't come and tell you, brother, let me get $50,000. Y'all around here don't know what $50,000 is. They don't. A lot of people in Lakuchi don't know what $50,000 is.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, but so you have no financial literacy. You know, you put yourself in a bad spot.
Yeah.
And then you do what's next. And when you go into survival mode, man, sometimes the wrong thing is on the table. Your wrong perspective is on the table about your position.
Right.
And you do some idiotic stuff. And for me to make a drug deal in 2007, in September of 2007, was a survival decision, not a begging. I took it. I had a lot of pride and was scared to ask for help from embarrassment.
Right.
Because they say I got it.
Pride.
They say I got it. I'm making $13 million a year.
Yeah.
You know, I'm making $85,000. But back then they thought what I was making was some money. And yeah, that's some money for Lakuchi. You know? And so, you know, it's all about what's next. It's those chapters in life, from pros to prison to blessed. We're trying to get to the blessed part. And man, I'm knocking. I made that decision in 2007. I was 26, 27 years old. A young hothead. And catastrophically, it damaged me. But as I walk through, man, I see something nice on the other side, man. I'm nearer to my benefits I work for. But at 26, 27, you don't see 52. You can't see that nowhere in your mind. Nah. You got 4 kids getting hammered, $1,500 a month for child support, license, all this other personal stuff going on. You don't see that. Yeah. You know? But you're living the life.
Yep.
You know? So I look forward to working with these young men.
Yeah.
You know, and trying to lay some of this stuff on them, because it is to come.
Right.
If you don't handle yourself the right way. these things are to come.
Looking for custom apparel that stands out? Welcome to the Stitching Heifers, Bushnell's premier embroidery and custom apparel shop. From custom hats, t-shirts and jackets to unique gifts and business branding, we specialize in high quality, personalized apparel that reflects your style and vision. Step into our exclusive hat bar and design your one-of-a-kind custom hat, perfect for personal flair or promoting your brand. At the Stitching Heifers, we're committed to bringing your ideas to life with exceptional service and attention to detail. Whether it's for you, your business, or a thoughtful gift, we're your trusted partner for all things custom in the heart of Sumter County. Stop by today or visit us online to get started. The Stitching Heifers, custom style, local heart. When it comes to building in Sumter County, experience matters. From remodels, barns, additions, and accessory buildings to creating the custom home of your dreams, our Hogan Construction delivers quality you can trust. Russell is hands-on and on-site daily, going above and beyond to ensure the project isn't just completed, but crafted to perfection. He doesn't just meet expectations, he exceeds them. For a builder who puts integrity and craftsmanship first, call R. Hogan Construction today at 352-793-7660. Russell Hogan Construction, built on tradition, built to last. Catfish Johnny's Restaurant, serving the Lake Pennsauken and surrounding areas since 1990. For the last 33 years, we have strived to serve great food at great prices and a friendly, casual atmosphere. If seafood isn't your thing, our burgers or wings are the best around. We have daily specials too. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram for more information. Duto Realty is a homegrown business with an eye for getting the job done right. From football games to Sunday school and everything in between, these ladies care about our community and the people in it, helping buyers and sellers in all of Florida with all types of transactions, including residential, commercial, farm, or vacant land. They do it all. They even offer auction services and sellouts to always get the job done right. Promotional consideration paid for by the following: Travelin' Tom's Coffee Truck, the delicious mobile coffee truck that brings you the caffeination inspiration you need. We deliver signature coffee products like our Nitro Cold Brew and Caramel Frappe to any occasion or festivity. And for those who don't like coffee, we offer a variety of delicious hot chocolates, energy drinks, lemonades, and teas. That's Travelin' Tom's Coffee Truck. Whether your water is supplied by a public municipality or a private well, for residential or commercial use, Purified Water Services LLC has the solutions to provide you with simply clean water. We offer a complete line of professional water filtration equipment and accessories. Soft water makes a difference you can see and feel. Water heater and appliances last longer with less maintenance. Iron and H2S filters eliminate iron stains and offensive rotten egg odors and protects your water softener equipment from iron fouling. No matter what your problem is, Purified Water Services LLC has a solution. Contact Kenny Williams at 352-446-2709. Promotional consideration paid for by the following: Webster Ace Hardware and Farm Supply are generous sponsors for today's podcast. They have been a family-owned business for 27 years. This helpful hardware store sells items such as archery, Ariat clothing and boots, Wrangler jeans, case knives, Hammond's candies, and live fishing gear. They also have a full selection of hardware, RV supply, propane, Ben Moore, Royal & Clark, and Kingston paints. You need a barn or fencing job done? Custom barn kits and roofing metal are provided at your local Ace Hardware store. What about a new grill for the yard? Traeger, Big Green Egg, Weber, and Blackstone are found here, along with all the accessories to go with them. Stock up your workshop with DeWalt, Milwaukee, or Craftsman tools. They got you covered. Remember to go to ace.com to shop their entire line to have items shipped directly to the store.
I'm not going to take over your show, man.
No. Man, dude, listen. This is not about me, brother.
Yeah,
you are the guest. I am just here to listen, bro. And I am gonna, I'm gonna, you know, I have so many questions, but they're just it's all over the place. So, but I want you to be. I mean, I feel like you're so comfortable right now, and that's good because I want you to open up, and I want to hear the story.
Yeah, well, you know.
And I'm trying not to talk because I'd rather listen.
Yeah, I talked to my daughter. She just graduated from Savannah State.
Awesome.
And,
congratulations.
yeah, thank you, man. And to send her to an institution.
Yeah.
And to let her go through that institution.
Yep.
And how they brainwash you and how they break you down. When you send your kids out the house at 17, 18 years old into the world, they go out, and when they return, another way. And, when my daughter came back, I use this as when my daughter left and went to college, she came back as a blonde. She left as with black hair, came back as a blonde. And my other kids, my other daughters was like, Dad, we don't know who this girl is. We don't that. I said, baby, just hold on.
Who's coming in our house?
You hear me? I'm talking about she's weird, this and that. This how they whisper at me. What's going on with Kayla? And I said, baby, give them time.
Yeah.
Because when you go to them institutions, man, and you get brainwashed.
Yeah.
You get brainwashed. You come back a different way.
Yeah, you do.
You come back a different way, and it don't make no difference. Prison institution, a university institution, you come back a different way for the good sometimes, or for the bad.
Yeah.
And sometimes we pick up bad stuff and bring it back, and mom and dad then teach us that. And that's and as I'm looking at my kids, I'm able to be in front of them and see those things, and to try to correct them and ease them back into the form of being a believer. And knowing that whatever God has for you, He will put it there.
Speaking of universities, tell me a little more about, because I don't really know. I mean, we played against. I'm a Gator fan. So, I know that's probably not on your best interest, but
I'm a Gator at heart.
Oh, okay. But so let me ask you this: how was it being a Gator fan,
right,
but going to South Carolina?
Things changed, man. Things changed in '95. I'm at the Florida and Georgia All-Star game with Dante Culpepper. This me, Florida. Dante Culpepper, Peter Ward, Javon Curse, Jeremy Rudolph. I'm talking about, man. And to go to the room, turn on TV, it's breaking news. My brother done got in a fight at the Sugar Bowl. Spurrier done released him.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
I'm fighting for the SAT scores, but Florida, I'm in the locker room. I'm hanging at Florida. I'm with them. I'm in there talking crap to Fred Taylor, telling Fred I'm coming to get your job, boy. Elijah Williams, boy, I'm coming to get your job. They end up converting him to a defensive back. Yeah. And I tell him that you better go on back there somewhere else.
Yeah, right.
As a freshman, as a high school senior, I'm telling these boys in the locker room, I'm looking at Kevin Carter. Kevin Carter, 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah.
I'm looking at these amazing athletes. And I didn't want to go to South Carolina. Let's be honest. I'm a Florida boy.
Yeah.
I'm a Gator, man.
Yeah.
I'm a chomp. My best friend was a Gator fan, alumni, So to make that decision to reshuffle the deck, however you may have it, South Carolina came in contact with my brother, offered the opportunity for him to regain his self.
Right.
And with that deal, I think it became a package deal. Going to, with me coming along, and they waited on me. They kept a scholarship for me. The little token of saying, hey, Troy, if you get this test, but we got a full ride here. And my brother's there and have the Lord, however the Lord had it, that's how it played out.
Right.
To go all the way there, my first time leaving my mom. Yeah. Tearful moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mama's boy. So, yeah, man, you find out you take your talents on the road and see what you got.
Yeah.
We took it to South Carolina, man. My brother was already there. And by the time I got there, man, Darren had the whole atmosphere. Like they was all Florida Gators, bro. Man, Darren had everybody morale up.
Nice.
You hear me? I'm telling
awesome.
Man, just chopping from his worth ethic, from his dog, that Florida mentality. Yeah. That Lacucci Indian mentality. Yeah. We come from nothing. And man, Brad Scott had my brother speak to the team, instantly came in as a true leader. And to this day now, we didn't have all the wins in South Carolina. But man, Darren impacted that locker room so highly that when I came in, man, it left nothing else for me to do. Me being a freshman wasn't even. It's like I came in as a junior, ready to ball. So it was that thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say when Big Bro gets there and starts to establish, the feel of the atmosphere for you, and then you just walk in, you're sitting pretty, man. I mean, it's
I'm sitting. You got Deuce Staley there. He came from a JUCO.
Deuce.
Yeah, you had some other running backs. When you go to a major university, and the coach get in the running back room and say, "All right, everybody stand up and introduce yourself." The first player stand up, "Hey man, I'm such and such. My senior year, I had 4,000 yards rushing and 50 touchdowns." And then the next person stand up, "Yeah, I'm such and such. I had 3,000 yards, 80 touchdowns." I'm just hypothetically speaking. You see what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to get up and say, "Hey man, I'm Troy Hambrick. I had 1,400 yards, 38 touchdowns my senior year." I'm embarrassed already. So you look at yourself, man, I thought you guys told me y'all just wanted me.
Yeah.
But when you get in that world, and get in them big universities, man, they are shopping.
Yep.
And boy, you better be a dog. Yep. And then so, that's what it was. Once I got there, it's like Hambrick had already laid the doggish mentality. But when I go in that running back room, I'm like, boy, I'm going against some Gators. I'm going against some real athletes. How am I going to fit in this scheme?
Right.
Yeah, you got to get to work.
But you adapted. I mean, that's the thing is you adapted and you, like you said, you got to work. I mean, that's the only thing you can do. When it's no different from getting a job where the first day on the job, you don't know the atmosphere. You don't know what's going on, but you learn everything around you. And in no time at all, you're pretty much running the place. You know what I mean? You got a feel for it. You know, this works, don't do this, do that. But and how do you know all that? By doing.
Yeah,
and
by
that's
doing
the biggest thing.
And by doing it, and through all default and all positivity, man, Darren laid a foundation as he walked in front of me, and he set the standards high. He's a no-nonsense guy. And my personality is more laid back, chill, want to get along with guys, funny, this and that. And Darren is not that guy. So we spent a lot of time apart.
Yeah. And
that's over time, the personality is just personality. I'm that laid back guy, smiling guy. Darren is not. And he laid the foundation, bro. And my job is to get in there and make every opportunity count. And when you realize you only have 5 reps, when you only have 10 reps to get on film, to get the coaches to notice you, and you take them a little more seriously.
Right.
You're dealing with time, you're dealing with reps. And I went in and was able to get involved through Darren leadership. I learned to stand strong as a running back because they wanted me to put me at a defensive back.
All right.
And, that's the first thing they do when you get to a university. They're looking at an athlete.
Yeah.
Or versatile, and they wonder where they can plug them in the program to make their team better. And Darren said, man, bro, they talking about moving the tight end. They talking about defensive back. What you gonna do? What are you gonna do, bro? I said, bro, I'm a running back. He said, well, you stand firm. You got to make some plays, boy. Yeah. And that's what I did.
Yeah.
That's what I did, man. And been a running back all the way through. Never shook it.
Yeah.
Never shook it. And then I ended up getting on special teams. Getting tired because being an athlete, not worried about just being a running back.
Yeah.
I want to get on the field. I pace the field like the referee paced the field.
Yep.
Ain't no sitting down back there in the back.
Yeah.
We don't, I came to fast forward a little bit. To back it up a little bit. I came home and I volunteered at Pasco High School in 1 year. And, we're getting warped. And I look over my shoulder, and guys are back on the bench playing, bull crapping. And I'm like, so I go, one of the guys are the sons of one of the guys I grew up with. And I'm like, hey, man, we don't do that. We don't do that, man. Yeah. And it was homecoming.
Oh, yeah.
You hear me? And I was so embarrassed, man. And I ended up blowing up on the sideline just off of got trained, whatever they was doing, different type of dog.
Exactly.
I was trained to walk the sidelines, make sure I'm intact with the game.
Yeah.
And then I knew I stood by my position, coach, because anytime they'll grab anybody.
Yep, exactly.
Your job is to know your job. Mm-hmm. And I knew my job. So I walk with the coaches. I'm walking with the referees. I've never sat on no dang on bench unless they made me sit on the bench. And that's it. And I kept that. I kept it going. Hambrick, get such and such. Hambrick, get such and such. And that's how I ended up building my resume.
Yeah. Well, that I hate to tell you that it still happens today where you'll be on the sideline and you'll see kids like hanging out. Now, some of the kids are, either they're young, and they're not, they're not the starters, so they automatically assume, hey, I can just hang out back here, Yeah. But no.
I didn't come up in that era.
Yeah, no.
I didn't come up in that era. We don't play.
Yeah.
We don't play about the game of football.
Right.
It's wins and losses. We don't play.
Right.
We didn't have many losses there in high school during my time off of that type of mentality. Mm-hmm. Everybody up.
Right.
Everybody up. Ain't nothing back there on that bench.
Right, no.
Huh?
Right.
You don't need no water. What you need water for? Is they working?
Yeah, exactly.
You hear me? Are you working? What you need?
Right.
Huh? Right. And young, vibrant, big kids.
Yeah.
But it was different. Then when I came back, that's when I realized that I possibly might not be a coach because I take things a little more personal.
Right.
But by volunteering and looking at the attitude, I'm like, man, these kids done changed. Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
You're good.
Yeah, these kids done changed. But through leadership and being led by Mike Penix here, Darren Hambrick, DeAndre Reed, these guys locally, Jamie Bird, Kayvon McDaniels of the world, man, I can go on Tars Ross. These guys had senior leadership that taught me something that could stand with me as I walked. And I took it to South Carolina. I took it to Savannah. I took it to the Cowboys. I took it to Oakland. I took it to Arizona. It's embedded. Yeah. It don't make no difference where I'm at on the depth chart.
Right.
Some kind of way I'm going to get myself up in the front.
Right.
I'm going to make myself relevant. By the grace of God and my ability, but never been denied in that aspect, when it comes down to working in preparation.
Right. Going back to South Carolina, because I'm saving up. I got quite a few things I want to ask you about your next step, but I'm going to go ahead and go back to South Carolina. You talked about Lou Holtz earlier. What was that like playing for Lou Holtz?
It didn't last long. I feel personally, now that I look back, I lobbed it too long for Brad Scott. Brad Scott had just had a horrendous year. I wanted to go ahead and finish it out. Brad brought me in there, man. Yeah. Good guy, man. Playing in SEC is hard. I'm talking about the who's who of the world. And South Carolina just couldn't get up to steam. And I was crushed there, and I think I lobbied publicly too long for Brad. So when Lou came in, I think I was already the target. Mm-hmm. And then you look at my report, bar fight. Got jammed up on the highway with a pound of weed. All these infractions. I really don't feel Lou had me as one of his seniors, and my face is leading the organization. I think Lou came in with Troy's on the borderline already. Troy's gonna jam up somewhere, and I'm gonna get Troy ass out of here. Mm-hmm. And it went just like that. So
he was just waiting for you to mess up.
I feel personally, as I got older now, and I look back and see, me getting kicked out for a failed drug test. I didn't fail the drug test. I just put water in the cup. And he kicked me out for that. He said the water was diluted. It didn't show up for THC, but by me putting water in the cup, that shows, once again,
he automatically assumed you were guilty about that.
Yeah. I mean, my report already saying, hey, man, Troy is this.
He's got a history of that. Yeah, oh, yeah.
And I'm trying to clean this damn place up.
Yeah.
Sat down in front of Lou. Sat down in front of Lou 3 weeks before training camp. And Lou said, Hambrick, you've been manipulating the University of South Carolina since you've been here.
What?
Going back, I told them I had a weed problem. I used to tell, and they put me in they put me in counseling. This is 96, 97. They put me in counseling. And by me being in counseling, I felt like, I let them know I had an issue.
All right.
Brad was helping me out. The university was getting me counseling, But my learning curve was on me. I couldn't keep up in school, all the tutors and all. So the history was there. And then so Lou came and said, hey, this is what I have for you. You can take your red shirt year. And you're gonna start this training camp at the bottom of the depth chart. Coming back the next year. Mind you, I just led the team in rushing the last 2 years. Mind you, my brother just got drafted. We got bigger things on our mind. The university is warming up. The university is finally putting out draft picks.
Right.
During that time, Deuce came off the board. Marcus Robinson came off the board. Terry Cousins came off the board. So I sat and looked at Lou. He got Charlie Strong sitting on my shoulder with them big old arms. And I looked at Lou and said, Coach, I think I'm going to take my talents on the road. I didn't want that red shirt. I don't want to start at the bottom of no depth chart for a drug test that you say that, that you're going to go ahead and chop this up as a fail.
Right.
Because,
Plus, you probably, if you went all the way back to the bottom, you weren't going back up anyways.
I wasn't going back up top.
Regardless of your yardage and everything.
Right.
That's crazy.
That's how it happened. I sat there, man, with a tear in my eye. And Jacob Bush was there also. And I said, Coach, I'm going to take my talents on the road. And I felt like, then, let me back up.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
No.
And Lou come in there, bro. His first meeting, look, I ain't number about 4'9", weigh about 85 pounds. He come in the meetings, he got the seniors sitting on the front, juniors, sophomores, freshmen. And Lou came in with his speech, man, I'm here to help you guys. We're a family. Whatever you need, you talk to me and I'll help you. I raised my hand and said, Coach, can I get $30? I'm doing bad. And the room fell out laughing. And Lou took exception to that. A kid just trying to crack a joke.
Yeah, so he just automatically...
And I didn't know that Lou had already got jammed up for a violation already. I didn't know that Lou over his years in Notre Dame had already got jammed up. I'm a damn black kid from Lacoochee, Florida. And man, that set the ball with me and Lou right there. I forgot to tell you that, brother.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, he went, you the I'm talking about right there. And I'm like, hey, man, I ain't mean no harm. You say you're going to help me. Yeah. Mama need a little help down there in Florida.
Right.
Mama need a little help.
Right.
And so from that point on, it's just, I'm not blaming it all on him. I know as a kid, a young athlete, I could have handled myself a lot better. But I thought that was a great, because that speech he had wasn't hitting on that. And I want to see was you family, Lou. let me get 30 until a little bit later, man.
Let me hold 30.
Let me hold 30. Yeah, man. And they got a good laugh out of everybody.
Listen, that is... We are alike, okay? Because I'm laid back, just like that. And I am the guy who's going to say something like that. I'll tell you a quick story, and then we'll get back to you. Same scenario. same. I mean, not football coach, but I thought this is my junior year in high school. I took Spanish. Okay. So I don't think I've ever said this on here, but the Spanish that they teach in high school is not the Spanish that you would use on the streets of anywhere in the United States. Right. Okay, it's Madrid Spanish. Right. Okay, so you're not doing the Cuban, Puerto Rican, Mexican Spanish, nothing. Right. But we're learning the King's English of Spanish. Right. Okay, so first day, I thought, man, what an icebreaker! I got to say something funny, just to break the ice. Right, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like, I got to come up with some kind of Spanish saying. So what is something totally random? So, you would always introduce yourself, and then you picked out Spanish names. Well, I told her, I said, she's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I said, me llamo lápiz. my name is Pencil.
Right.
It's stupid, but it's funny. Like, it's funny.
Yeah.
But I thought it was hilarious.
I mean, I'm learning. You got me in class. I'm learning.
Exactly.
Let me sit with
I didn't
you.
speak German or French.
Right.
It was Spanish, and she knew what I was talking about. Everybody laughed. She didn't think it was funny.
She didn't find it. Wow.
Troy, I'm telling you, from that day on. Now I know this woman now, and she's very, very nice, and she's great.
Right.
But at the time, it wasn't good. And so it was like I was marked.
You was marked
for the rest of the year, man. Yeah. Like there was one time I had to go to the bathroom, like, and you weren't allowed to speak English in class. So I was like, señorita, señorita, baño, baño, por favor. I gotta go. She's and my name was Pablo in class. Right. Pablo. No. You stay. And I'm like, dang it, this. What? And I'm thinking, why did I have to do that? Because, but that's not how I am.
That's not how I am. And that was different, man. Luke, that was different. And them $30 from Luke, man.
Yeah. Let me get 30.
And it's about 50 of us in there, man. And it was funny. It was funny.
It wasn't 50, it was 30.
And it was, and everybody thought it was funny, but Lou.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that started, man. Lou wanted his seniors, all his seniors, to have a 2.5 GPA. I've been struggling academically since I got there. Build relationships with professors to get the extra credit, to get their number, to do something nice for them. That's how I got through the system.
Right.
I know I need a D, I need a C. I ain't never look for no A's and B's unless it's in athletics.
Right.
You got me there.
Right.
But in that classroom, man, I'm looking for a C or a D plus.
Right.
I'm just trying to get through. So when Lou looked at the transcript and all, man, I got a 1.3. I was failing in all these situations. So I think, as I look back, it wasn't his job to cover up anything for me because I wasn't his kid.
Right.
I was Brad Scott's kid.
Right.
And he's trying to get all of that stuff out so he can bring his crew in.
Yeah.
And that's, as I've gotten older now, because I held a grudge against Lou for a long time. I seen one of my guys on my thing was doing a podcast show with him the other day. And, the Lord led my heart to look at him and be like, man, did that incident derail me or did it set me up for my purpose? And now I'm thanking Lou.
Yep.
I'm thanking Lou.
Yep.
Me and Lou got in a spring practice and the linebacker came on the blitz and I popped his ass. And when I popped him, I saw he had lost control and I drove his ass in the ground. And Lou didn't take kind of that.
Yeah.
And man, Lou came over there and grabbed me around my collar, bro, and I stiff-armed Lou ass, man. In the matter of, I'm a battler, bro. This is a linebacker drill. This is running back, linebacker picking up. It gets ugly.
Right.
And for me to get on, and I drove the guy and I buried him. And man, Luke come over there. He's yelling, uncontrollable, spitting. And he, once again, now he's 4'9", possibly 80 pounds. And man, I grabbed his ass, man, get your hands off of me. I'm in battle. He didn't take liking to that too. Yeah. It's just when you're in between them chalks, man, anything going on in them lines.
Right.
And I've lost a couple battles with a linebacker, and he's done the same thing to me. So.
Yeah, you can't win them all.
You can't win them all, man.
No.
And I finally got the upside on the guy, and it got a little more personal then. And then I'm like, man, where'd that come from? Then he ended up sitting me out the rest of the drills, and then I just saw it, and that's a little, but it just set me up for it to be a harder dog because it's other stuff to come in life.
Yeah.
And I was 19, 21 then, 20, somewhere up in there.
Yeah.
And there's so much more life. And as I look back now, I said, man, Lou, you created a monster in me.
Yeah.
A little more determination.
Right.
You let me know that the road gonna get shaky sometime.
Right.
And I took my talents on the road, went down to FAMU. FAMU got me in there. They was excited to have me. The coach at the time was an Cowboys running back, back in the early 70s or 80s, something like that. FAMU was so happy to have me.
Yeah.
I'm out on the practice field practicing. We're going through tour days. They got me up in the hotel. You know, that fast, I thought I had fixed the problem. I go from South Carolina, drive down to Tallahassee, personally, talk to them, and they get me in. 9 days into camp, I look over my shoulder as I'm on the practice field stretching. I look over my shoulder. Here come 2 black guys with suits on. I don't pay them no mind. I see them go over and talk to the head coach. I don't pay them no mind. We go through a drill. Go through the drill. I see the coach over there. Now he done walked off from him. I'm noticing this now. But at the end of the first session of practice, he said, Hambrick, I need to talk to you. I said, all right, coach. He said, come in the office. We go in the office and said, listen, man. He slipped me $200. He said, man, I got to let you go, boy. South Carolina raised a hell down there, bro. They know you're not academically eligible. We was going to move some stuff around to get you in here, boy. But they got fire coming. I broke out and went to crying, bro. Why don't y'all just leave me alone? Y'all, I'm at your university.
Yeah. Yeah. Just let me be. Let me go. Yeah, I just, that's a classic game of if I can't have you, nobody else can have you. You know what I mean?
And that's one of
You're good.
that was tough. So I picked myself up again.
Yeah.
Young kid trying to make it.
Just trying to make it in the world.
Don't know what's to come.
Right.
So, man, I come back home. Now I'm talking to my brothers. Excuse me, brother. Excuse me. Boy, I brought something up there.
You're good.
So, yeah, now I'm back on the phone. Now I got to come home.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to come home. The embarrassment already there. Done hit the papers.
Right.
That I got kicked out of South Carolina. I'm trying to show them that, hey, man, I can get it back together. So now, hey, I mean, I got to go right now. You know, ain't no way of fixing this here.
Yeah.
So I come down and talk to some brothers that got down to Bethune-Cookman. And I get there, and they're trying to get me in there too. They're trying to get me to sign right now. And the spirit wouldn't let me sign. And I'm like, hold on, coach, let me see how practice goes. Let me see what you guys got going on. Let me see what's going on. Well, all right. I said, I signed it after the first practice. I signed.
Right.
But let me look at the first practice.
Right.
All right. So they go out. Man, they got 5 running backs on the roster.
Right.
All the running backs are hurt. Bandage up. Excuse me. Every running back.
Right.
This not, I can't do nothing with this.
Right.
Never talked to me. I eased out the back, got into the car, and I left. That's Bethune. And as I'm traveling down 95, I got a lady friend with me who's letting me use her car.
Right.
She's in grad school at the University of South Carolina, but she done dropped everything to help me get back grounded.
Oh, wow.
So we leave there. She's like, Troy, I got to get back to the school, man.
Yeah.
My parents, this and that.
Right.
You know, Tara at the time, I'm 21, 22. Tara got to be almost 30.
Yeah.
You know, she's in grad school. She's going for her doctor's degree or whatever she's going for at the time. So ride down 95, headed back. We headed back to her place in South Carolina, and I get a call from a friend named Derek Harrison. He said, Ham, I think I got somewhere for you to go, boy. He said, where you at? I said, I'm on 95, D. He said, stop in there, huh? I'm seeing this address. I got an AD at the University, at Savannah State University, and he owed me a favor. He was the AD, he was a academic advisor here at the University of South Carolina, but he ended up leaving there and got the AD job. You see how that goes?
Yeah.
He got the AD job at Savannah State, and I go down there, and when you go into a predominantly black school, you think you're gonna see just, man, I go in this building, man, I look around, coach, here come this guy named Dr. Jerome Fitch. Come out about 6'5", bright skin, with hazel green eyes.
Huh.
Hazel, I'm talking about green.
Yeah.
Damn, that scared me. So he comes in, Hambrick, man, how you doing, man? Heard a lot about you, this and that, been following you. What you gonna do with yourself? You know, as a young little guy, you know, you try to tell him all the right stuff, the political stuff. Man, coach, I come to school, I need to get my stuff together.
Right.
Man, he look at me, he say, son, don't bullshit me. I can look at your academics and see you ain't with that.
Right.
And yeah, so he's like, listen, here. He passed me a stipend. Go get you a place. You got a home here. I'm gonna get you through this year. And at the end of this year, we're gonna withdraw from these classes. And that I never took a class at Savannah State.
Oh wow.
I went on the campus for football only.
Yeah.
You hear me? Played the year. At the end of that year, I ended up withdrawing from school and going on.
Wow.
That same 1.3 GPA.
Right.
I guess South Carolina had laid off by then. I don't know what they did.
Yeah.
And now, as I walk my walk, I'm reaching back. Coach Steve Wilkes, who's now is the defensive coordinator, well, he's been around the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He was at Baltimore.
Oh,
He
yeah.
Going down to Arizona.
Yeah.
They fired him after 1 year.
Yeah.
That was my head coach at Savannah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now he's the head. Now he's the defensive coordinator for the New York Jets. They brought in another guy from the DB from Detroit, the defense coordinator from Detroit.
Yep.
I can't call his name right off.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about too.
Yeah. And they brought him in as a guy. So I personally been reaching out I went back to Savannah State. Everybody has changed. Everybody's gone there. But I was able to get coach's number. And I've been texting them, calling them, telling them how much I appreciate it. Because now I know that they did so much for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just look out of Lacoochee, Florida.
Right.
They had the
Right.
potential. You hear me? They had potential, man. Could have just blew me off like the rest of them.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it. I talked to Coach Wilkes for the first time in 15 years. And man, he was so elated to hear from me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was so elated to hear me. And I'm telling you about my story because, man, how many ups and valleys?
Yeah.
You know, how many downtime? How many times have been knocked down?
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
You think you're seeing an upright person, and it's like life has been so sweet,
Yep.
and it hasn't been nowhere near sweet. It's easing into it now from a different mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from a different mindset with maturity.
Right.
But to go through those young years, man, to get where I'm at today, man, it's been a hell of a ride.
Thanks for watching this part 1 of a 3-part podcast. Stay tuned for part 2 and part 3 coming soon.